Okay, so today we are making a soap that is inspired by the wonderful, amazing elderberry bush, which we use this time of year, and we have been using since, like, I guess this time last year, which we've always used it, but generally only during cold and flu season. And this year, well, we've just been using it all year round. But it is good to have around at all times to boost your immune system. But anyway, so we are going to be making a soap that is an elderberry soap, which is it is actually called the Sambucus, I'm not sure, Sambucus plant. And we have them actually growing wild here in Florida. You look it up and you'll see all the amazing benefits of elderberry. And if you're interested in my elderberry syrup recipe, it is actually on our website or on our YouTube channel, so you can go find that. We already have our oils and our goat's milk and lye solution in here, and we are going to get that blended up. All right, so that's all I'm gonna do with this. I just wanted to get it to an extremely light trace, and I'm soaping extremely cool. I've not used this fragrance oil before. It is Sambucus from Nurture Soap, which is the formal name for an elderberry. And I'm going to be doing a 3-color drop swirl in our base of just our natural soap here. And I'm going to use 3 different colors, obviously. 2, not as much as 1. I just want primarily to have the majority of the color to be a purple with accents of black and green. The black representing the actual elderberry turns a really black, it's a really black dark purple. And then the flowers on the elderberry bush are white, and then we have the green leaves, obviously. So we're doing purple, black, and green in this one. And I'm gonna go ahead and add my, oh wait, and forgot. This one, oops, sorry. Ooh. This one is actually gonna be white to represent the, I forgot that part. I already have my titanium dioxide and distilled water pre-mixed over here. And we're just gonna add a little bit of that to this. Go ahead and mix that in first with my whisk. And then once we add the fragrance oil, I'll go ahead and hit it with the stick blender. I made a mess with the titanium dioxide over here. Alrighty. And like I said, I've never used this fragrance oil before. It is supposed to behave well, but it has a lot of floral notes. So just in case, I wanted to make sure I treaded carefully with this one. So I need to add a little bit more, but I want it to stay fluid enough so that I can get a good drop swirl in here. All right, so that looks good. And it has floral notes plus the fruity kind of berry, which elderberry on its own does not really have a huge amount of scent, the berries. themselves, and they don't have a whole lot of flavor on their own. But when you mix them in our syrup, I use a blend of, I put whole cinnamon, clove, which is also really good for germ fighting, and cinnamon, which is good for your immune system and your blood sugar. All things that boost your immune system by having healthy blood sugar and healthy immune system. Or boost your immune system to have a healthy blood sugar. All right, so this is our purple, which is Purple Galaxy Mica from Crafter's Choice Wholesale Supplies Plus. That mixed in, and then I'm just going to hit it with a stick blender since I didn't blend it very much already. After I get some of the fragrance oil in there. More in that one. So this will be our first, and that's okay. I think I'll go ahead. It seems to be behaving pretty well, so I will go ahead and mix up these other colors. So I'll do the black last. And this green is a mixture of Kelly Green Mica from Brambleberry with a quarter of the amount of neon green from Nurture Soap. I wanted a nice bright green. The Kelly green is really nice and bright, but just wasn't bright enough for what I wanted it to look like in the end, so I added a little bit of the neon to get a little bit brighter. And then this is our just titanium, or not titanium dioxide, it is activated charcoal. Which has amazing detoxification properties on its own. Also good if you do ever happen to get the flu, for it to be taken internally if you have a nice organic activated charcoal. Just FYI, it's good to have around. It's just an all-around awesome thing to have in your house, in your medicine, your herbal medicine cabinet. All right, so we've got our purple. Let's say some of that for the top. And then our green. Oops, wow. And the further away you hold the pitcher that you're pouring from, the swirls drop down further into the soap, or deeper in. And then the closer you are, the closer they are to the top. So we want my drop swirls to be varied here. So we'll get some that are going to be high, and then we'll drop down closer. mold cleaned up here a little bit. All right, I'm gonna let this sit for, before this gets firmed up. I'm just gonna play with it a little bit. All right, we're good to go. Let's see if this is firmed up enough that I can add the colors on here. Get our white, which represents the white flowers on the elderberry. At the end, I'll post a picture of some elderberry bushes. You may have some in your yard. In Tennessee, we did have elderberry. And actually here in a property, one of the first properties we moved into here in Florida, we actually had elderberry. And that was the only one, and they grow so prevalently, so it's extremely odd. And every property we've been on has had quite a bit of land. Yet, and the first one was actually the least amount of land until here. Here we only have 1.5 acres. Our first property in Florida, or in this part of Florida anyway, only had was only on 1 acre. Right, so let's do our green. I'm not doing so hot at spreading this out. Way too much of the green. Has to make some room for my black. So like I said, so the berries, once they're ripe, they turn like a purplish black. So they're very easy to see, but they are actually purple. They're just a really dark purple. So they make a very pretty syrup. It's like a dark purple syrup. All right, so what am I gonna do with this? I want it to give it a good swirl on this side. Black is completely spilling out here. But you can still see it, so we're all good. It is there, making its presence known. All right, so let's do it again. We'll go this way. For that, we're going to use our spoon. Spoon this white up. Just a little bit on this side. So we have kind of a uniquely textured top here. And I'm going to take my glove off for a minute because I have soap all over it. But be very carefully add add some dried elderberry to this side. And they smell awesome. These are organic dried elderberries, which I'm going to be just using a few. They are very precious. Especially when my bushes died on or got destroyed on me. But we have plenty. I also freeze them. Thankfully, I had not harvested any to freeze this year, or else I would have lost all those too, because they would have gotten thawed out when our freezers all went out. But we are all good. So that is it. I'm gonna sprinkle it with just a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and we are done. This is elderberry, and we'll be back in about 18 to 24 hours to cut it up and see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so I'm kind of excited to see. I'm going to flip this over on its side so I don't get, turn it around the other way, so I don't get drag marks from the elderberries we have on here. But I'm a little kind of excited to see what this one looks like. It's still a tiny little bit sticky. It's been kind of hot again. Even though it's fall, it's still hot. But that is Florida, so we're okay with that. We're getting an extended growing season, so we'll be thankful. And we won't really complain too much about the heat and humidity, even though I wish it were cooler in a perfect world. But anyway, so I'm kind of excited to see how these drop swirls turned out in this one. Cutter adjusted right. Alrighty. End piece cut off. And I was realizing that somebody came out to my soap studio and asked me if I made a Halloween soap, because of the colors in this one. I didn't even think about it, but they do kind of look Halloweenish with the green and the black, maybe kind of witchy colors, I don't know. The green and the black and the purple. Wow, I like it. I think it turned out really cool. And the green is spot on perfect what I was looking for. A nice bright, but not like completely neon green. So cool. Ooh, look at that. That's really neat. So what is the temperature like where you guys live today? It is almost exactly 4 weeks since our hurricane, and today, or the hurricane that was here, and it's 90, feels like 90, something like that. It feels over 90. Humidity is like pretty close to 70% when I looked this afternoon when I was going out to, it just felt so hot. So I looked to see exactly how hot it was. And there's so much, it's so much hotter in the back of our property, which is where I primarily spend most of my time. Our garden, such that it is in the front of our house, because it was the only place that we had some area with no trees or some sunlight where we could grow something. So like the very front of our house and off to the side in front of our garage is where we have some raised beds. But anyway, so most of the time, I mean, I just go out there in the morning to water and look things over. So it's really kind of cool out there then. And I'm usually just out in my soap studio or doing something with the goats or the chickens in the morning and the afternoon. And it was always so cool out there because of all of our huge trees. It was like 20 degrees cooler. And we had somebody come to visit a little while ago who was picking up some of the goats that we needed to sell after the hurricane. So they were rehomed. And the lady who we chose for them to go to. She was remarking how much warmer, much hotter it was, because she remembered how cool it was in our back for the goats and everything, but now it is, oh my gosh, it's so hot. I have to wear sunglasses in the backyard, in the back of our property. Never had to do that before. It's blinding when we come out our back door. But we're hoping that that is the end of our hurricane season, even though it's not officially over towards, I think it's like the end of November. But we hope that's the end of it for everybody. No more hurricanes. And bring on the cooler weather, please. Because we could all use it. Everybody's out doing a lot of yard work, and we still have tons to do with fixing up our property and sheds that were damaged and livestock areas that were damaged. We kind of got started on one of them this week, but not done yet. But anyway, that is, let's see if we can find a couple cool ones. Some of these have some really cool swirls in there. Okay, so this is our elderberry inspired soap, and we hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please like this video, and if you would like to subscribe to be notified when we get when we upload a new video, please think about subscribing. We do appreciate all of our subscribers, and don't forget to let me know what it's like where you live. Are you actually experiencing some fall-like temperatures, or maybe you even are like those poor folks up in Michigan and you have had snow already this year? But be sure to let me know, and we do appreciate all of you, and we thank you so much for watching, and you have a very blessed day.